Well, welcome to Zen Stories. I wanted to talk today about the Buddha. I've got a lot of Buddhas in the house. I think people give them to you, and whenever people collect things, they attract them. If you collect salt and pepper shakers, you're going to end up with shelves of salt and pepper shakers. And my uncle collected martini glasses, and of course he bought them, but people would give them to him. So anytime you attract something, you're going to get them. Well, I get Buddhas. But the one Buddha that I wanted to talk to you about was not given to me. Well, in a way it was, but I'll tell you about this. Now, this is a beautiful Zen Buddha, and you can see it has great detail in the teeth and everything. And a couple of years ago, I was going to the local landfill, and you have to go through the threshold guardian, who is the guy who weighs the truck, and there was a shelf there in his little shop, and there were a whole bunch of things he had found in the landfill, and at the end of the line was this dirty little white statue, and I recognized that's a Buddha. So I asked him, I said, how much can I buy that Buddha? And he said, well, I don't know. And he was kind of a fat little guy, looked like a Buddha himself. So I went on in his shop, and there was 2 or 3 other guys sitting around a little stove. It was winter. And so I began I'll give you $20 for the Buddha. No, I don't know. And so then back and forth. So he said, okay. While I was bargaining with him, one of the guys sitting there and said, what's a Buddha? And so then and then he said, well, how much is a Buddha worth? So I said, okay, I'll give you $40. And the guy said, done. So I took the Buddha and came home and washed it. And before I left, I said, that's how much a Buddha's worth, it's $40. But I've always called this the landfill Buddha. And a Buddha is let me tell you this. One time a Christian lady came to the house. She was an authority on the Bible, and she came to, we had been corresponding in the local newspaper back and forth about yoga and Eastern religion and whatever, Buddhism. And so she came to the house to continue the tea, and brought her books and everything. And so she really tried to put an agenda on me, and these statues really bothered her. So she asked if she could come back, and I said, and this was the first time I ever told somebody that they weren't invited. I said, no, you can't come back unless you leave your agenda. You're welcome to come back, but not to come with your agenda. And so she said, well, I can't do that. So before she left, I had a little tiny Buddha. I don't know if I've got any here. Yeah, it was a little. I had these little Buddhas like that, and I picked it up and I said, "Oh, here." And she she took it, and when she saw it, she went ha, and almost ran from the house. But so anyway, some Buddhas mean different things to different people. But to me, Buddha is a metaphor. It's not an idol. It's not a god. It's a metaphor that is kind of like a portal or a door through which you can go that continually opens up onto a new landscape, a new understanding of yourself. It continually opens up into a broader vision and a wondrous vision of the world, but it's a portal that you have to go through. And it's kind of like the wardrobe in Narayana. Was that the name of that C.S. Lewis movie? No, it wasn't. I forget what it was, but it was a movie in which there was a wardrobe. So the Buddha is like a door. But the little Buddhas, the stone Buddhas and the symbols and all that, are just metaphors for this door through which you have to go when you can understand what a metaphor means. A metaphor, well, like I wrote this morning. So I said, The Buddha is my chiropractor. Well, that's a metaphor. It's because the Buddha is not a chiropractor, right? But then the Buddha is a chiropractor. So the Buddha is a chiropractor and the Buddha is not a chiropractor. So that's a metaphor. It's two signs going in opposite directions. So it's not logical. So the metaphor holds together two contradictory opposites as one. But you can't get to the one unless you can penetrate the metaphor. So these are kind of like a metaphor is what I call a Dharma gate. A Dharma gate is a gateless gate, or a pathless path, or a doorless door. So it doesn't look like it's anything. Well, a Buddha's a chiropractor. Well, that's stupid. A Buddha's not a chiropractor. But what the metaphor does is that it becomes an intermediate zone, or a place that is created through which you can go to find the oneness of your own life with reality. So the metaphor is a way, is a reverse door through when you go through it, and it becomes your flesh and your bones. When it becomes a part of you, then the metaphor then becomes a vehicle for healing and uniting your own world and uniting you with your own experience. Because we're all desiring, our primary desire is to be one. One with the world, one with ourself, and not to be divided or split, you see. But the conscious mind, the logical mind, can't heal this division, because the logical mind says a chiropractor is a chiropractor can't be a Buddha at the same time, you see. But the metaphor says the Buddha is a chiropractor and not a chiropractor, you see. So logic, classical logic, says A is A, and A cannot be A and B at the same time. Now, this is the way science works. But science does not explain your life. You have to discover your life by using metaphors that sometimes will choose you, and then they become your flesh and bones. You become the metaphor, and then the metaphor becomes the means by which to heal the wound that cannot heal. So that's my story of the Buddha today. Okay, thank you.